G'day folks, it's Phil from 15-Minute Guitar Practice here with another concepts lesson. This one about the hardest thing that you can think of right now, and that's the modes. The modes seem to throw a lot of people a lot of the time. But there's only 3 questions you really want to know about the modes. Number 1, how do I remember them? Number 2, when can I use them? Number 3, how do I know which one to use? Right, so hopefully I'm going to get all of this into one lesson. If not, there'll be a part 2. Let's get started. What can you do to remember the modes? Well, I teach this phrase. I don't pick limes, my aunt lied. I don't pick limes, my aunt lied. And I purposefully misspell the word limes with a Y to indicate that that particular L in the sequence is for Lydian and the other one at the end is for Locrian. So I don't pick limes, my aunt lied gives you the first letter of each of the names of the modes, and the names of the modes are important, I guess, but the order of them is more important. Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian and Locrian. Now if you know your chords in the key, you can feel a bit better about yourself because modes and their tonality are directly related to chords in a key. So the chords in a key, your 1 chord is always major, your 2 chord is always minor, your 3 chord is minor, your 4 chord is major, your 5 chord is major or dominant depending on how many notes you're putting in your chords, and your 6 chord is always minor and your 7 chord is diminished. Okay, so that's the same with modes. Mode 1, Ionian, is major. Mode 2 is Dorian, is minor. Mode 3 is Phrygian, is minor. You get the idea. Okay, so that's how I teach remembering the order. Okay, and the order doesn't change. They always appear in that order, and just like many other things in music, when you get to the end, like when you get to Locrian, you circle back and start at the beginning again. So after Locrian comes Ionian, just like after G comes A again. Okay, so that's how you can remember them. Now let's talk about, well, when can you use them? Let me introduce you to this concept of total harmonic landscape. And all that really means is for you to consider all the pitched instruments that are playing at the time you're about to play and analyze what they're playing before you jump in. And the rule is, if the total harmonic landscape includes a particular interval already, then you must play that same interval. You'll see what I mean in a minute, but let's take for example a groove. A groove in A, you've got a bass player, a drummer, and you. Okay, and the bass player is just playing like an A root note, just going like boom, 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 boom. Okay, question 1. Well, what modes can I play over that? Well, the answer is any of them. You can play any of the modes over this because it's only a root note. There are no other elements in the total harmonic landscape to dictate a tonality. Nothing is saying, well, it needs to be major or it needs to be minor. So you're free to move between any mode you wish. You can play all minor modes or all major modes, or move between one and the other alternating. Entirely up to you, because the musical landscape, as you can see, only contains a root note, and you're very free to add in anything else. Let's take another scenario. Let's take a common funk scenario when you have a root and these top 2 notes, like a that kind of rhythm figure. What I'm playing here is fret 8 on the top E and B strings. Okay, so what total harmonic landscape do we have there, and what modes can you play over that harmonic landscape? To get the answer to what modes you can play over this, you analyze the notes in the total harmonic landscape. So we analyze the intervals contained within this landscape in relation to this root note, because that's the root note that we're using for this example. So if we figure out what that interval is in relation to that root, This interval is a minor 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, major 7, minor 7. Okay, that's a minor 7. This one here, 8th fret of the top E, turns out to be a minor 3rd. 1, 2, 3, flat 3, or minor 3rd, major 3rd, minor 3rd. Okay, so we've got a root, a minor 3rd, and a minor 7. And if you know a little bit about how chords are constructed and intervals in chords, you will know that the chord that closest matches to what you've got there is most of a minor 7 chord. So a minor 7 chord is that, but we're doing it in A, so maybe move it up to there. Okay, a minor 7 has a root, has a minor 3rd, a perfect 5th, a minor 7. Okay, so what modes can you play? Well, you can play any modes that have within them a minor 3rd and a minor 7. Now, the minor 3rd is the distinctive interval which basically decides whether you're going to be playing major stuff or minor stuff. If it's got a major 3rd in it, you'll be choosing from the major modes. If it's got a minor 3rd in it, you're going to be choosing from the minor modes. It's got a minor 3rd, so we've got Dorian, Phrygian, and Aeolian to choose from, because those are our 2, 3, and 6 minor modes. Alright, so which of those, or which combination of those, has a minor 3rd and a minor 7? And the answer is all of them, actually. You've got Dorian's got a root, it's got a minor 3rd, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, major 6, and minor 7. Okay, so Dorian's good. What about Phrygian? Well, Phrygian's got a root, a minor 2nd, a minor 3rd, a perfect 4th, perfect 5th, a minor 6th, and a minor 7. So Phrygian also includes both of the intervals contained within our total harmonic landscape. Okay, and Aeolian is, it's got a root, it's got a major 2nd, it's got a minor 3rd, so that's good. It's got a perfect 4th, a perfect 5th, a minor 6th, and a minor 7. So all three of them, you can play any of those in that harmonic landscape. Let's take another simple musical scenario. Let's take something like the bass is playing this, just playing a G root note, and another guitar player is playing like a. Alright, sounds kind of funky altogether. But what you've got there is, well, I won't tell you what it is. Let's analyse the intervals. We've got a root, and then we've got a note here, which turns out to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, turns out to be a major 6. And then this note here, which turns out to be a 1, 2, 3, flat 3. So you've got a root, a major 6, and a flat 3rd, or a minor 3rd. So what you've got there is a minor 6 chord. So what modes can you play over a minor 6 chord? Well, you had to play the minor modes because it's a minor 6 chord. It has a minor 3rd in it, which dictates the tonality of the mode. So if the chord's got a minor 3rd in it, then you can only play modes which have a minor 3rd in it, and those are the minor modes. If you play ones with a major 3rd, you get a terrible clash, which you might be going for. You might want a bit of a squinty, oh my god, is that a wrong note effect. Depends on what you're trying to communicate at the time, but generally you want to match minor modes with minor chords. Alright, but what out of the three minor modes can we do? What can we use here? Okay, well, can we use Dorian? Dorian's got a root, a major 2nd, a minor 3rd, a perfect 4th, a perfect 5th, and a major 6th. Okay, and this chord has got a root, a major 6th, and a minor 3rd. So, yep, you can use Dorian there. Perfect. Alright, what about Aeolian? Let's try that. Aeolian has got a root, a minor second, a major second, sorry, minor third, perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, a minor sixth, and a minor seventh. Now you can't use Aeolian because the total harmonic landscape contains a major sixth and Aeolian has a minor sixth. So that will cause a clash. So Aeolian's out the window. Alright, and last thing we've got Phrygian. Actually, I kind of should have done Phrygian in the second one. Phrygian's got a root, minor second, minor third, a perfect fourth, perfect fifth, and a minor sixth. So Phrygian is in the same boat as Aeolian. It's got a minor sixth, and the total harmonic landscape already contains a major sixth, so they will clash. So you have to stay away from those two, and you can only play Dorian. Okay, let's add some more elements into our harmonic landscape. Let's talk about maybe a chord progression that just goes between two chords. You've got a minor 7 chord and a major chord. Now you can see this is more of a Pink Floyd type thing, played like that, or you could see it more of a Santana thing, like. Alright, so we've got two chords going on there. What is our total harmonic landscape? And then what modes we play? Okay, so when it comes to more than just a couple of notes, take a piece of paper and draw the dots of the first chord. And then on the same piece of paper, with the dots from the first chord, I also draw the dots of the second chord on top. And that will give you the notes you can play. Okay, and if you recognize your mode shapes, you might recognize that. If you don't know enough about the modes to recognize the shapes, that doesn't matter, because at least you know where you can place your fingers. Because really, the notes you can play over a certain chord are the notes of the chord. Okay, you might not play it in exactly the same place as the person accompanying you. You probably want to play it an octave higher so you can get some kind of separation between the chord accompaniment and you, the soloist. But, you know, that's a great rule of thumb. What shall I play over this chord? Well, play the notes of the chord. There's other things you can do, but that's a great starting point. Another way of dealing with this harmonic landscape here, from our G minor 7 to our C, is by analysing them in terms of their placement in chords in a key. Now we've got a minor chord going to a major chord. We've got a G minor 7 going to a C. So this first chord, well, minor chords can only go in spots 2, 3 or 6. Okay? So this could be a 2 chord, it could be a 3 chord, or it could be a 6 chord. So let's figure out where else it could be in relation to this major chord. Well, major chords can only be in the 1, 4 and 5 spots. Okay, so with a bit of jig around and a bit of trial and error, you probably find that this is a 2 chord and this is moving to the 5 chord. And if you can find out that, then you know that the 2 chord corresponds to the second mode. So your answer is Dorian. Okay, for that chord change. Let's take another one using that chords in the key method. So let's take like a minor blues. Let's take like something like Tin Pan Alley by Stevie Ray Vaughan. Start on a maybe like just a minor chord, an A minor, then it will go to a D minor 7, back to A minor, then up to E minor 7, back to D minor 7 and A minor. Now, what's going on there? Well, chords in the key, we've got 2 minor chords in a row. Okay, we've got a D minor 7 and an E minor 7, and the only place where minor chords can go alphabetically consecutively 2 in a row is in the 2 spot and the 3 spot. I don't know what I'm doing. So that must be the 2 chord, and that must be the 3 chord. So if that is the 2 chord, then that is the 1 chord. So we're in the key of C major. So if that is C, then A minor is the 6th chord. Okay, so what we've got here is a 6 moving to a 2, back to the 6, and then 3, 2, 6. Okay, because the tonal center of that is the 6th chord, starts on the 6th chord, which is always a pretty good rule of thumb for, tonal center, because it's the 6th chord you want to play. What number mode? Mode 6, right? And if you can't remember what mode number 6 is, you have to go through I don't pick limes, my aunt. A for Aeolian. So you can use Aeolian over that particular minor blues. Okay, so that's the concept of total harmonic landscape, and the rules, just one more time. Total harmonic landscape means you analyze what's going on in the landscape, and if there's any particular intervals in there already, you need to include those intervals in what you're playing. Not to say that you have to play those intervals, but if you decide to play, a particular type of third, the quality of the third you play needs to match the quality of the third contained within the total harmonic landscape. Alright, so that is how can I remember the modes and when can I use them, and quickly and briefly, and probably a lot less in depth than I probably should have gone into, how do I know which ones to use? Alright, so leave me a comment below if this has been useful to you. I think a lot of people struggle with the modes, not only to get their heads around the concept, but once you've got your heads around the concept, you've got this information about modes and you maybe even know your mode shapes, but I think the stumbling block is, well, when can I use them and where can I use them and how do I know which one? Which is why I made this video. Okay, so if you dig this one, then give me a thumbs up and let me know if this one was useful to you. Subscribe if you like, and click the little bell icon so you get notified immediately that I do another one of these, so you can be first in the queue. You can even leave a comment that says first when you're the first person to see it. Alright, this is Phil from 15 Minute Guitar Practice saying bye for now. Cheers.